Hello, Buckeye Nation. I'm back, and I'm so excited to be getting pumped up with you all for this 2023 college football season. I have a feeling it's going to be a great season, and I have quite a few thoughts before it all kicks off. There's things I'm excited for, things I'm concerned about, and questions that I have that I'll get into right after the intro. My name is Lisa, and I'm the gal behind Buckeye Football Fangirl. I tend to get just a little overexcited about Buckeye football, and I'm guessing that you're watching this video because you do too. I love me some Scarlet and Gray, and we have all been patiently waiting 8 long months for the return of our favorite team to the football field. We're getting so close, but we're not quite there yet. We still have a little less than 2 weeks from when this video drops before the kickoff against Indiana on September 2nd. So I thought I'd make a little video in the meantime to talk about everything that there is to get excited about for this upcoming football season. Because honestly, I can't hold it in any longer, and there's a lot. A couple weeks ago, I asked you all what you were excited about on Twitter, and I got some great responses, so thank you to everyone who chimed in on the comments section of that tweet. And by the way, if you're on Twitter and not following me yet, make sure to do that. It turns out that a lot of what I'm excited about, you guys are too. I'm gonna start off with my number one item, and that is that I can't wait to see Zone 6 do their thing again this year. Our wide receiver room is loaded, and while MHJ gets the majority of the national attention, it's gonna be tons of fun to see the rest of the room hauling in passes all over the field. I'm honestly especially excited to see Emeka Egbuka this year. I feel he's getting slept on a bit by the national media because so much of the attention is on Marv. However, as several Ohio State beat members have pointed out in their off-season pods, Emeka Egbuka's 1,151 receiving yards last year was ranked as the 5th best in Buckeye history. Of course, Marv's receiving yards landed him in that 4th best spot, but I really think Egbuka and MHJ complement each other when they're both on the field because opposing defenses are stretched so thin covering them. In my honest opinion, without one, the other wouldn't be as good. Besides Egbuka and MHJ though, there are tons of other young receivers chomping at the bit for playing time. We've been hearing a lot about Carnell Tate flashing. Noah Rogers, Kyan Grays, Jaden Ballard, Brandon Innes, Kojo Antwi. Look, there are a lot. Not to mention the veterans in the room in Julian Fleming and the X-Man, Xavier Johnson. There are so many riches there. It's almost not fair. Almost. This does lead me into one concern that I have for this season, and that is the question on everyone's lips. Will these receivers get their chance to shine? And by that I mean, will the O-line be able to hold back defenses long enough to allow passing plays to develop? The O-line is a huge question mark, and a lot of Buckeye fans are panicking after a shaky showing at the spring game and questionable performances from practice reports. I'm not panicking yet, but I pray to God our offensive line gets it together to be able to protect our quarterback and give him the time that he needs to let these wide receivers just blow up the field. If they can't get the pass blocking stuff together, the only consolation I found is that our running back room appears to be loaded, which leads me into the second thing I'm most excited to see. Even with a loaded room of running backs, as we saw last year, depth can quickly be cut thin with injuries to key players. However, I'm feeling pretty good about the reports so far. Henderson appears to be healed up after his injuries last season and his subsequent surgery in the offseason. The fire seems to be lit within him to show the college football world what he can do, and I'm ready to see it. We know that we have a dependable wrecking ball in Mayan Williams, and I cannot wait to see Chop on the field again, angrily running over defenses. Evan Pryor also seems to be chomping at the bit to show us his stuff, not to mention the reports that we've heard about Chip Trainum and Dallin Hayden bulking up and looking like they're ready to just absolutely destroy whoever ever gets in their path. It sounds like we've got a room full of bulldozers, and I cannot wait to see them spark some action on the field. This takes me to the third thing that I'm excited about that a lot of you echoed on the Twitter post the other week. I'm excited to see what our defense as a whole does this season. My expectations are up here for them as they head into year 2 of the Jim Knowles defensive scheme. And after the improvements we saw last season, I'm expecting even more out of them this year. We've been hearing not just good, but great things about the defensive line looking like beasts during practice. Though it is impossible until we get to real games to know whether that is because the offensive line is so bad or because they are just that dominant. There's also been reports of major improvement at the cornerback position, which we all know still needed to step up after last year. There's been smack talk from the cornerbacks about covering Ohio State's wide receivers and keeping step for them during practice, which I like to hear. However, we need to see that on the field this year. I'm both excited and hopeful to see more swagger from BIA on the field this season. All of this excitement has me pumped up for this football season, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about some of the other things going on with the team. One of those being that Ryan Day is borderline on the hot seat. I personally don't have him there yet, while a lot of fans were ready to give him the boot after losing the second game to TTUN last year. However, for me, this season will be pivotal to see how he comes back from that. He absolutely cannot lose again to TTUN. And it will be extremely challenging this year to win that game because there are a lot of things in TTUN's favor. The game is in their house and they are returning a lot of players, though my distaste for them will not allow me to actually call them good. I can't do that. But Ryan Day has to find a way to win. I don't care how. He has to win that game, or else, as much as I love him, he will be on the hot seat for me. How do you feel about this? Do you think Ryan Day should be on the hot seat? Do you have him there already? Go ahead, drop me a comment below with your thoughts. I want to hear them. Beyond the game, this year's schedule isn't going to be an easy one. For one thing, Ohio State has 6 road games this year. Justin from the 330 Sports Show pointed this out, that they haven't had this many road games since 1895. Think about that. In the past 128 years, they've never hit the road this much. That's kind of mind-blowing. And for another thing, after what should be 3 easy opening games, we face Notre Dame, Maryland, who should be pretty good this year as long as Talia stays healthy, Penn State, Wisconsin, and TTUN. Shout out to the OHIO podcast who has put together some amazing previews of all the Big Ten teams this year. I've been learning so much from them and they have been so fun to listen to. I'll drop some links below to their shows if you want to check them out too, because you should. Anyways, back to Notre Dame, Maryland, Penn State, Wisconsin, and that team up north. 4 of those 5 teams are landing on a lot of preseason top 25 lists. Yeah. It ain't gonna be an easy season, guys. I'm already mentally preparing myself for a lot of nail-biting, hair-pulling, blood pressure-raising games. But that's why we watch, isn't it? Look, it's great to be a Buckeye. It's great to cheer for the best team on planet Earth. And I love getting to chat it up with all of you as the season progresses. I love this Buckeye family and how simply wearing scarlet and gray gear around town can connect you with a total and complete stranger who throws up an OH as you walk by. There's something magical and special that connects all of us fans together. And I love that about this sport. So thank you from the bottom of my heart so much for being part of my Buckeye family and for tuning into my videos. Whether you're a longtime watcher or just stumbling upon me for the first time, know that I appreciate you. I appreciate your time and I am super stoked to cheer on these Buckeyes together for this 2023 college football season. It's natty or bust, baby. And we're getting really close to go time. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this season, so please drop me a comment below with what you're excited about, what your concerns are, and if you think Day should be on the hot seat or not. And I'll see you in about a week with my first game preview of the season. OH.